Hi guys, Mr. Sonnenberg here. Today we're going to be talking about plants for food and fiber. This is the it's second unit in your textbook, but it's actually the fourth unit that we've been studying. We're going to be talking topic 1, people and plants today, and this again is for Science 7 students. So, main topic that we want to cover today is the role of plants in the environment, and basically what you're going to find out throughout the screencast is that plants are extremely important to all life on Earth. Extremely important role, and we'll talk about the various roles that they have. But I know one thing: I really like plants because I'm a golf fan, and I love to golf. And my whole summer, I consume myself with golf. And so right now outside it's absolutely miserable. It's raining, it's windy, it's cold, there's not a lot of sunlight, but I don't mind the rain. Sitting here waiting for my knee to recover from my surgery. I can't be on the golf course anyways, so they might as well soften up the fairways, get the grass growing so they can cut it down, get it nice and lush and ready for when I return. So that was nice of Mother Nature to do that for me, I guess you could say. But so what we're going to talk about though is this role plants have in the environment. And so I said it's really important. I'm going to outline some of the key points as to why I would say it is so important. Now the first one, if you just draw your attention right here where the red arrow is plants provide food by making their own food. And they do this through this cool process called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. All right. Oh, it's the neatest I've ever wrote on this thing. All right, so photosynthesis is really cool. It's going to take a few things. It's going to take carbon dioxide gas from the air, which would be known as a form of a pollutant, but these plants use it to make their own food, and which is awesome that they can do that. It also uses H2O, which is water, and then it uses sunlight. Running out of room. All right. So it uses that sunlight as well. But then on top of that, okay, it's going to produce, and by produce I mean this is what it makes. So all these things combine and react, and they're going to produce a few things. And one thing it produces is what we call glucose. Glucose is a form of energy. It's also going to produce water, and then it's going to produce oxygen gas. And now oxygen gas is what we breathe in. So O2 gas, that's what we breathe in. So let's just take a look at these two things right here. Oops. There we go. Let's look at this one here, and let's look at this one really quick. When I inhale, I took in this right here, oxygen. I exhaled, I got rid of carbon dioxide gas. The oxygen I took in was created by plants as a product of plants. So they produce their own food and glucose right here, but they also produce oxygen gas, which we breathe in, and so do other animals. Okay. Now, when I exhaled, I blew out carbon dioxide gas. Now the plants can use that to build their own food and produce oxygen for us. So it's a cycle that works together, which is really awesome. Now, the second thing that they do, well, I've already mentioned it, is they provide oxygen. And then animals use oxygen, we use oxygen. So it's this process because we can't build our own food like plants. Plants they can create their own food, and all they need is sunlight to do so, and then those other reactants as well. And through photosynthesis, they produce that, which is very unique and very awesome. But we can't do that. We use a process called cellular respiration, where we actually produce carbon dioxide, but we also have to turn our energy into a different form. So we consume, and then we break down through various metabolic processes, and then we can utilize those vitamins, and we can utilize and create our own energy. Create our own energy, but we have to take it from other foods that we consume to build our own energy within our body. So a little bit different process. The next thing that plants do as well is they provide shelter. Okay, so they provide shelter for maybe against the elements and weather, against predators. So an animal's maybe it lives high up in a tree or something, because then that way other animals can't get up there to eat it. It builds and protects soil, okay, which is also very important as well. And then it's very connected to a food chain. So basically interdependence, how different species rely on one another, okay. Those different species relying on one another is going to, in a food web, and remember we worked with food webs a little bit, is that we can show our producers being our plants, and then we can show our primary consumers that consume those plants, and then our secondary consumers that consume the primary consumers or herbivores possibly, and then our tertiary consumers that consume those animals as well. So if I was to use the example of grass in a meadow, insects eating the grass, mice eating the insects in the grass or the grass as well, a snake eating the mice, and a hawk eating the snake, then I've hit both all levels, my producers, my primary consumer, secondary consumer, and tertiary consumer. Done. So these plants, very important role they have, and for life on Earth, they're crucial. We have to have these plants. And then if we didn't have plants and we didn't have grass, and I wouldn't have a golf course, and then what do I do with my time? Sitting here making screencasts all day instead of golfing. That'd be terrible. Anyways, so the role of plants in the environment. So like I said, just as this is more of a recap slide, they provide oxygen, which is crucial for our survival, animal survival and such as well. If there were no animals to eat, then we wouldn't get our food. There were no producers, we wouldn't get our food. And remember, every time we eat a plant or an animal, we only consume approximately 10%. So we have to eat multiple amounts of that, right? So I can't just eat one meal a day and assume that I'm going to be able to move, grow, think, repair cells and such. I need more food than that. So that's why we consume a certain number of calories, because we only take so much of that as food, as energy, and the rest is evacuated as waste and such. So these plants also, they help to reduce the problem of pollution, and that's by using carbon dioxide. So say for example, even with a car, say what happens is we have soot and dust that actually can, and smokes, and in this process of combustion that comes out the tail or the tailpipe. And so what happens is these harmful gases, so we can get sulfur dioxide gas. We can also get carbon dioxide gas. Well, the carbon dioxide, though, plants use. Now, if we were to cut down the trees, then we'd be affecting the amount that's actually used up of carbon dioxide, which is leading to what we call global warming. And that's one of the, we'll talk about that later in this unit as well. But so that pollution, that carbon dioxide, plants actually use that to build their own food, to produce us oxygen. So I'd say these plants are pretty awesome. Like I said, they're the basis for most food webs. The producers are the base level, and everything else consumes each other moving up, but it all starts with plants. And then they can help build the soil. All right, so that's all I have right now, guys, for the role of plants in the environment. I need you to know that they're very important. They produce oxygen for us. They use carbon dioxide, which is a form of pollution, and they can help to prevent that pollution. They build and strengthen soil. They provide shelter for animals. And without plants, we wouldn't be alive. So hopefully this has helped, and hopefully the weather gets better, and hopefully my knee gets better so I can see you guys in class. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.